So here's a question for you. How do we get more done without doing more? Sounds contradictory, right? Well, I heard the saying a long time ago that productivity is not about doing more, but doing less better. What if we're able to expose the things in our life that makes us less efficient, remove clutter from our schedule, and change productivity habits that are bad for us and become more effective in our productivity? In his book, What's Best Next, Matt Perman gives us a 50,000-foot view of what it actually means to be productive. And he wraps it up with an intensive layer peeling of awareness to what we're doing moment by moment in our day. He underscores his productivity message with how to be intentional with weaving the gospel into our daily life as a priority rather than an afterthought. You guys know the company Apple. They make iPhones, Apple Watches, and so forth. Of course, you know Apple. Well, back in 1997, Steve Jobs introduced everyone at Macworld Expo to the new slogan Apple would take on for years to come. Think different. Now, this wasn't just a slogan. It was who Apple was. He was redefining Apple, what they did, and what set them apart. So think different was not just simply a slogan, it was both a vision and a mission that he was putting Apple on, that he wanted everyone to know that this was who Apple was. If we want to make lasting changes in our own schedule, then we need to have a plan. We need to have a vision for the mission that drives us to give us purpose. So there are some things in Matt Perman's book that stuck out to me. And one of those things was how I was creating gaps in my schedule. And well, actually, I was filling gaps in my schedule. So whenever a gap in my schedule, and I'll call that white space. So whenever I had white space in my schedule, I filled it. I felt compelled to do more, to be busy. And busyness did not necessarily lead to productivity. It led to me getting burned out and actually being less productive. So I found that busyness was very detrimental to my life. Matt Perman says, if you aren't doing the things in the first place that are right, you are just becoming an expert at doing more of what doesn't need to be done at all. So I think creating margin and using those white spaces in our schedule as something that can make us more productive, and using that margin as as a way to be effective and efficient simultaneously without getting burnt out. Steve Jobs also said that he's just as excited with the things Apple said no to, the different projects that they rejected, as he was about the things that they accomplished. So I think by saying no, it gives us more room and more space to be innovative and be creative. So this is what I've been learning lately, and it's actually been working very well. I'm getting to be okay with saying no because what I see is that it gives me more opportunity for the things that help me become who I'm supposed to be. And it gives me more creative outlets like doing this and sharing my thoughts with you. So saying yes to things is not always good. And not all good things are the things that God wants us to be doing either. So when we are able to say yes to the things that He wants us to do, then we know that those are the right things. When we say no, we actually create space that leads to more creativity. And God is an ultimate creator. He has created us to be creative and to create. And we are all called to create in some way. Everybody's different in that. So here's a few questions to ponder. Number one, what can you say no to today that actually gives you more white space? Number two, what if you said no to something not to fill that white space with something else? And number three, what can you strip away from your schedule to create more space for something that gives you more purpose? So think about those things and have an awesome day.